What a difference that one delivery could have made. You're now at 209 for 3. England trail by 262 runs, and you'd say that the game is hanging in the balance. But if it was for what happened at that last moment, Harry Brook out for a duck only to be a no ball, it's kind of changed. Because England goes 209 for 4. India are feeling buoyant. India are feeling confident. India are feeling that they have their noses ahead in this test match. Right now, where it's stopped, I think it's even Stevens. Both teams at the moment can
innings,
feel
3 wickets. They had lost. In India on their first day had lost 3 wickets. Now England have also lost.
No, but India reached
350
with 3 wickets. No, there's a big difference. Yeah. Right now, at the moment where the game is stopped, both teams can go into the dressing room feeling a bit aggrieved, feeling a bit let down by certain chances that they could have taken, and at the same time both teams can feel a bit happy also about saying that, listen, game is still 50-50. But overall, as the day has panned out, and if you take it from the first session onwards, where India has a collapse and then England have already got a century, and I think if day one belonged to India, you'd have to say day 2 has gone to England.
Hands down. I think before we get to an exhaustive discussion, one thing that has stayed now, what was the thing in November, December, January, and it's now once again in June, Bumrah versus the opposition. That's turning out to be the case. No other bowler has looked threatening at all. Siraj, I think in patches, he did look, it looked like that, he would get a couple of wickets, but then that wasn't to be the case. Prasidh Krishna has, I think, produced some toothless bowling. Ravindra Jadeja just getting through the overs. Shardul Thakur, still I don't understand why he was used that late. He should have been, given a few overs with the new ball. Overall, I think it's a pretty disappointing performance by India, apart from Jasprit Bumrah.
Make Bumrah a separate country, allow him to make 11 clones and put him in action. That is how India should start winning test matches, because the comment, I believe only in Jassi Bhai, that's it. Proven time and time and time and time again. At least Mohammad Siraj in the second spell, okay, credit, he created some chances.
That's why I said he was only good in patches.
But Jasprit Bumrah, 13 overs. He could have taken all the 10 wickets. And so far, 100%. He's taken all the 3 wickets. All the 3. Bowled, caught. You want to name it, he's gotten the whole gambit. He got Joe Root out for the 10th time. But apart from that, look at it. Same BGT story. No support. And if that is the case, 13 overs already on day 2 of a 5-match series. The strategy to cook Bumrah, although we know he's only going to play 3 or 4 tests, I think the strategy has now been put into place now. If he bowls 25 plus overs here also, then you'll have to have a rethink. Can he play 3-4 tests? I think he can only play 3 or 2. You can't risk him. This is the reason why you needed others to step up. Today, no one has stepped up, barring Siraj in very minuscule patches.
I mean, again, if I look at it slightly differently, I think overall this is not a ground and pitch for the bowlers. I'm sorry, but you're not going to have any bowler. Please tell me, between the two sides, take Jasprit Bumrah aside, and which bowler has looked good?
No, at least if we have to compare the likes of Chris Wokes, Josh Tongue, Bryden Cast, and then maybe on the other hand you have Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna and Shardul Thakur, on any given day, I'm going to pick the Indian bowling attack.
No, you will. But my point is that you also have to look at the batting attack. I think England have a far better batting lineup than India. So then they're also up against a better batting lineup. And you can also look at it differently, saying that here was an Indian batting lineup that had too many cobwebs, too many doubts over them, some of them, like let's say Yashasvi Jaiswal for example, hadn't even shown form against some county level bowlers in the lead up in conditions that were helping bowlers. So he has gotten 100, taking nothing away from him. But he's gotten 100. Shubman Gill, many had doubts. He's averaging below 40. He has gotten 100. So in that sense, I think it evens out. So India may have a better bowling attack, but India is also bowling to a much better, more accomplished batting unit at the moment. I mean, that apart, I guess that's what I'm saying. The problem is Jasprit Bumrah has spoilt us. I'm telling you, that is the issue. If it was a test match, take Jasprit Bumrah out and I don't know, let's put Arshdeep or a Mukesh Kumar, whoever would have been your next in line. There's no Jasprit Bumrah. There's a Mukesh Kumar, there is a Siraj, a Prasidh Krishna, and you're pretty much going for a lot of runs. You are in a situation where you would have been struggling because of the conditions that you have on offer. I don't think there is anything in that for bowlers. There's a reason, and that's why I was saying that many were jumping the gun by criticizing a Ben Stokes for deciding to bowl first on that pitch, and it looked like it had backfired. It was absolutely the right decision. Shubman Gill also came out and said, because a home captain in Ben Stokes knows exactly what is going to happen to that pitch, that it will be a belter, it will be a paradise to bat on. We're going to get a lot of runs, and of course what he was banking on is that his bowlers utilize the juice in the first 2 hours, get some quick wickets, and then the remaining batters get run, but they get to about 300 odd. We're going to pile on 500, 600. I think he went in with that mindset. This is a pitch that we're going to pile up 500, 600, just so that India also utilize, and India I think exceeded everyone's expectation in batting and have put on close to 500 runs. I think that in that sense is altered, but I think England always believe that they are going to be getting 500 plus on this pitch with a Jasprit Bumrah, and actually if you look at it, they're on course with a cheat code in Jasprit Bumrah. They're sitting at 209 for 3, well on their course to 500 runs. Had there been no Jasprit Bumrah, you couldn't have faulted them for targeting 600. So I think overall the pitch that has been prepared, it's going to be a batter's paradise. As I said earlier, there are only 2 ways India are going to be picking wickets here. And again, I'm not defending the Indian bowlers. Whatever the conditions, you have to find a way. And I'm not saying that I'm expecting a 4-wicket haul or a 5-wicket haul from anyone, but you have to find a way to break partnerships or get back into the game at some point. You're an international level bowler. The international players agreed it is a batting paradise, but you'll have to, pull a rabbit out of the hat. You'll have to come up with 1 or 2 magical deliveries that will get you that wicket. So as I saw it, there was only 2 ways India were getting wickets. One is if Jasprit Bumrah was given the ball and you then had 13 overs today for him to get you wickets, and he has. If it wasn't for those drop chances, there would have been plenty more, which we'll get to a little later. Or the other way was that there would have been a few stupid shots played here and there by the English batters, and that's exactly how it's panned out. That's why I'm saying I feel it sounds a bit odd that I'm feeling bad for a Siraj, Prasidh, a Shardul and a Jadeja. They haven't had a good day, so I'm not taking that away. And so if I say I'm feeling bad for them, many will think, oh, I'm trying to defend them. No, they've not had a good day. What I'm saying is they are made to look even worse than what their performance is, because you have a Jasprit Bumrah operating. And what do we see? Once we see Jasprit Bumrah do it, we're like, Arey, Bumrah is picking all the wickets. He's creating chances in every over. Why has Siraj not picked up even 1 wicket? Why has Prasidh Krishna not picked up 1 wicket? Why has Shardul not picked up 1 wicket in his 3 overs? That's what I'm trying to say. That guy is operating on a completely different plane. Everyone else is normal, human bowlers playing against humans. He's superhuman. He's an alien. So he will look very different. But again, that's not to say that I'm taking the responsibility away. Tomorrow is another day. Siraj, Prasidh, Jadeja, Shardul will have to, up their game if they have to bring India back. And then Bumrah will be Bumrah.
See, the problem is, I can understand if it was a one-off for Siraj. Okay, he didn't have a good bad luck. But for Siraj, it's been a prolonged slump.
Yeah.
He was the workhorse. Let's make no mistake about it. In BGT, he was the workhorse. He bowled more overs than Bumrah. Whether you bowled him to the ground and that is why his potency is lacking now in red ball cricket. I mean, look at it. If you look at his period post Virat Kohli captaincy, he struggled. In Virat Kohli captaincy, he was the bowler
So
to
what
partner.
are you trying to say? That bring...
No,
Virat
I'm
the
not saying
captain,
that. It's just a
then he'll
stat
pick up.
I'm pointing out. You look at the numbers Siraj had in Virat Kohli captaincy. Look at the numbers now. There is a dip. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. What are you suggesting?
I am suggesting either in this period post Virat Kohli, you've overbowled him so much, his edge has dulled. I think you've overbowled Siraj quite a lot. More than Bumrah for that matter. And in the BGT, you clearly saw it. Yes, he was getting better, but only in patches. But he's not able to maintain that sustained aggression that is there. What was the difference in that era? Consistently, he could maintain sustained aggression. Is the burden of Bumrah. Now he's not able to do that. Because you're dubbing him as a workhorse, and somewhere down the line, his potency is getting dulled.
What I fail to understand is that, despite all the experience that the likes of Siraj, Shardul and, Prasidh Krishna have of playing in domestic cricket, even, Prasidh Krishna, he may be just 4 test old as far as the India cap is concerned, but he has played loads of domestic cricket. Sometimes you lack that plan B. Okay, let me just, try a cutter. Let me see, if I can, surprise the batter with a quick bouncer. These are the things that I usually look at in test cricket, and this is where I feel that Siraj, Prasidh and Shardul Thakur, they clearly lacked a plan B. There's no point in, consistently pitching at, consistently pitching full, trying to look for some kind of swing, or maybe persisting with the back of a length deliveries, trying maybe 1 or 2 bouncer here or there. Just need to maybe show some kind of a variation, and that is clearly
But how
missing
can you
in
add
them.
Shardul in that he's only got 3 overs? How will he show plan B?
Yeah, still.
When 3 overs are not enough to show plan A, how will he show plan
No,
B?
I'm not saying that he is. I was just taking a name that.
No, but you have to take names of people that are
Absolutely.
guilty of
In-
not showing plan
in
B.
case of- in
How
case-
does a person who's got 3 overs show you plan B?
Yeah, I know, but in whatever 3 overs that he bowled, after that, I'm not really going to be confident to give Shardul Thakur probably another over.
No,
assuming both Siraj and Krishna start to do well on day 3.
How can 3 overs you decide what is he going to do it or not? In 3 overs, you can't be deciding whether he'll get you wickets or not. By the way, where did those 3 overs come also? Towards the end of the day. What is his strength if he wants to pick up wickets? That he can get the ball to move. I mean, you should have, if I agree that you can't give him the new ball. Somebody suggested in a previous discussion, give him the new ball. No, I wouldn't go so far, because if I've got 2 frontline bowlers in Siraj and Bumrah, I'm going to start with them, and that's fine. But once each of them have done their 5, 6 overs, that you're down 12, 13 overs, somewhere around there, I will bring him in. Alongside a Prasidh, I will bring him in to, utilize the ball, which is still relatively new, because that's his strength. Okay, fine, it didn't happen in the 12th, didn't happen in the 15th, not 20th, 25th, 30th. Now you bring him on after 40 overs and then expect him to do the job. And that too, see, first you bought him in 40th over, where his core strength is out. Secondly, you are playing him now against batters who are set. So obviously he will leak runs if there are any chances of them to pounce on certain deliveries, so it will show in his economy. And third, and the most important thing, is that if you've got him even late, then give him an extended spell to do certain thing. In 3 overs, how do you go to a plan A? Any bowler in test matches, and he's played enough of domestic cricket, for him to even execute a plan A will need one spell of 5 overs at least, I would expect. If I'm the bowler, he's not in the team as a batter. Let's not get it wrong there. He's not a Nitish Reddy. If this is how much you're going to use, then you might as well get at Nitish Reddy, because he'll get you runs.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to use 3 overs a day, then I'm sure you can go with Nitish Reddy. The whole point that we had discussed is that you should not have Nitish Reddy, and we all stuck by that, is that because you will need 5 bowlers to win you test matches. And in a pitch like this, which is a batting paradise, you will need 5 bowlers to do the job. But if in that 5 bowler, if you're going to use the 5th bowler to bowl 3 overs in a day, then you might as well play a batter, which would have been wrong in the first case itself. So I think in a day where Siraj is bowled 14, Prasidh is bowled 10, Bumrah is bowled 13, even your spinners almost reaching double figures, I think it was rather unfair to bowl him 3. In fact, can I tell you, even in those 3 overs, he leaked runs, but that is what also Shardul for. He'll leak runs, but he'll pick up wickets. you take that because that's what he comes with. Even in that, at least what I thought, he was trying to get some Yorkers in, trying to go to get some wickets rather than being what a Prasidh and a Siraj did in terms of not trying something different. He was going in for a full-fledged Yorker. In fact, the ball had started to reverse swing. So his core strength is swinging the ball. He had to go back on a secondary skill of reverse swing to get something out. So you're giving him breadcrumbs and you're then expecting him to serve you a lavish feast. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
The utilization of Shardul was a big question mark today on Gill's captaincy.
Absolutely.
And see, he will learn on the job. I mean, this is not the 100th time that Shubman Gill is captaining. It's just his first day as a proper captain fielding.
No, what surprised me is that, listen, this is a team that he is picked, right? And again, I'm just trying to think the captain has a major say in picking the team. So when you sit on the table, you had a choice between a Nitish and a Shardul. And if you have gone with a Shardul, clearly the thought process would have been this, that no, we don't need batting so much on the batting friendly pitch. We've anyway got enough till 7 in Jadeja. Now I need bowling. Yes, if some sort of batting cushion can come, then so let's go with Shardul. That means you need more bowling. That's the thought process. Secondly, you could have gone with somebody else also, another bowler if you needed bowling, but you packed Shardul. So my thing is, when you made the selection, you clearly believed in the skill that he has to offer as a bowler, right? Otherwise, there was no way he's playing. There were multiple other options. So that is what I'm a bit... See, a captain not backing a player has happened not for the first time. It's happened many times before. But I'm just saying that if you've selected him, you had multiple choices. Either you were in a situation where you had no option. Kya kare, koi hai nahi all-rounder, let's go with him. You had multiple. You had a Washington Sundar. You had a Nitish Kumar Reddy. You could have looked at a out-and-out fast bowler. You had multiple options. You went with Shardul.
Could be AajTak for that matter. Yeah.
Anyone. So you, or AajTak, whoever. So you said, no, this is the guy who can pick me wickets. I'm sure this must have been a thought process, even if I'm second guessing. So if you had that thing, what happened suddenly on a day? Again, if you were all over the English team, your bowlers were doing the job, then I also agree that, listen, my top 3 guys are doing it, I really don't need you. Today was a day where partnerships were, flourishing. There was a situation, nothing was happening. Bumrah had to be rested, the only one who was doing a bit of a job for you. Bring on a Shardul. And even if, okay, first mistake, you bought him late, but when you bought him,
sustain him for at least 5, 6, 7 overs.
Give him one spell. It's a 6-over spell. Give a person a 6-over spell. Okay, then if in the first spell doesn't happen, you take him off. Fine. That didn't happen in the whole day.
Yeah, so it is.
And that's why I find baffling that you only picked him. So clearly you had some belief in his ability. But now it's happening. Unless you didn't pick him, he was thrust upon you by the management saying, no, you have to play him. And now he's like, okay, then I never wanted him, but you've, shoved him down my throat. So I will just use him.
If he doesn't get that many overs, and the second theory holds water. If say, what is the minimum threshold? How much do you want Shardul Thakur to bowl in this?
10 more overs from here on?
And even if
Only 10 more overs.
10 to 15.
I'm
okay.
saying I'm not giving a number, but match situation will dictate. If wickets are not coming, then I would want to give him few overs. As an option, I will have to look at various options. But if wickets are coming, fine, then it's another thing.
Which is only coming from one source, by the way.
Yeah.
One source. And he was the difference maker today. In England being 209 for 3, they very well could have been 250 for 2. For all you know.
They very well could have been 5 or 6.
Yes. 2 drop chances, that no ball, and that run out also, okay, although run out was very chaotic.
And both those, there were 2 drop chances by Yashasvi Jaiswal,
Yes.
one by Jadeja. Okay, I'll take the first chance that Yashasvi dropped as a tough one. But the second one should have taken him.
Yeah.
Should have taken him.
Yes.
Was that Ollie Pope? I think.
Ollie Pope.
Ollie Pope.
Correct.
Which one?
Yeah.
At Gully.
Yeah.
When
Gully, Jadeja
Jaiswal
drop.
dived to his right.
Jaiswal.
dropped it,
Jaiswal dropped 2 chances today.
Yes,
But
one is
Duckett
That
and
was
Pope.
the very tough one, yeah, although.
Yeah, so, okay, Ollie Pope.
Yeah.
One major guy you could have got.
And then Ben
missed drop.
Duckett was dropped by Ravindra Jadeja at backward point.
Backward point.
And this was in the initial part of his
Initial
innings.
part, yes. He went on to hit a 60. That really dented your chances. And that's why you're in a position where you're 209 for 3.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you had held on to those chances, one of a Duckett early on and Pope at that stage where he was 70 or somewhere, it must have been around that if I'm not mistaken. You were looking at a scenario maybe 5 down, half the team back in the hut with 200, and you are on top of the game because they still have about 270 odd runs to get. With half that team back in the hut, India would have been clearly in a better position. As things stand right now, I mean, again, as I repeat, overall, the test match, I still think it's
50-50.
Yeah, it's 50-50. Nobody is really ahead. But today's day 2.
I think the morning session
England.
tomorrow is going to be the most important session of this match.
See, day 3 is always moving day.
Yeah.
You will know which team is either in the driver's seat or is losing or is a draw.
I'm very careful of you saying that because what has happened in the past is I say, oh, this session is going to be most important. You've said it. You then have to say it for another session and another session and another session.
That's
By the
common.
time the test match finishes, you would have said it for 4 or 5 different sessions.
No, but then
The most important session coming up.
common consensus, many people say is day 3 is always the moving day for test
No,
match.
it is. But the
Because-
most important session
that
it's
I-
happened.
Yeah.
that
Crucial
you
first
said
star.
it. No, that this is going to be the most important session. Then next session also you say, no, this is going to be the most important. Then next session. Then no, the first session of day 4, most important. We'll know. Then
See, first star of every session. That's always the most important bit. First star of every session. Because that is when you get on a break, you have to once again get back into muscle memory. Okay, I have to once again concentrate. Once again, I have to do this. I mean, look at the shot that Joe Root played. All of 13,000 plus runs, he gave catching practice to Karun Nair at Gully, at slip, sorry.
And pretty much in the similar fashion he got out, as was the case in 2021 when Bumrah, Siraj got the better of him when Kohli was the captain, the 2021 series.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, Joe Root wasn't really in his elements.
He wasn't.
I think it's for the very first time in a long time we are saying this thing about him.
Yeah, which I think is great news. You look at all the bright spots. The one is that Joe Root is not looking like the Joe Root. But that's not to say that you'll see the same version of him going forward. He does it happened in India. It didn't start off very well when he came here last year, and from there on then, turned it on. So with him, he can be a slow starter at times, but at least for now, the positive sign for the Indian team is that Joe Root is not looking the typical Joe Root. At least in this inning, was it was something like what Ben Duckett's inning was to begin with, very scratchy, giving a lot of chances, and then eventually
Survived an LBW of Siraj. That angle, unfortunately, otherwise he was beaten for pace there, clearly.
in a day of some poor catching, Karun Nair, he looked so comfortable in first slip, taking some of those. The catch that he took of Crawley, because it squared him up, and the ball in first slip, he wouldn't have been able to see the ball. He would have seen it when it's like well past the batsman, because he would have lost it. The ball went a bit inside and he squared. So if I'm standing behind, I can't see it. Suddenly it comes and he took it with
He had to
ease.
go to his opposite side, left.
Yeah, but with so much ease, with so much time to spare, and if you've ever, in any of you guys have ever fielded in slip, time is a luxury. The ball comes so fast that
And it is always
No
less than
reaction
a
time.
second. It's always less
no
than a
reaction
second.
time. It is
0.4, 0.5, 0.3. It has to be that quick.
Yeah. Your reflexes have to be amazing, and in this case, a lot of time you get to see the whole action happening, right? Your second slip, you see the ball coming, take the edge, you have enough time. Here in this case, you lost the ball goes there and suddenly emerges again, and yet he took it with a lot of ease. So in a day of poor, awful fielding, you had a bright spot in Karun Nair, not
yes.
with the bat, but with the catching, of course. That takes me back where the match is at the moment. I know the first session tomorrow is going to be crucial, but let's go back to that first session. 41 runs, 7 wickets. Are you ruining it already?
Absolutely. I think let's just talk about the short selection of some of the batters. I think we did have a brief discussion about it in the opening at the lunch session, but apart from that, I think if I am the coach, I'm going to have a chat with the captain here, Karun Nair, for that matter, even Shardul, Thakur. I think those three players.
Captain shot, but captain had done his job. No,
he had done his job.
Don't you think that, okay, suppose.
Just slightly more than half the job done, but nothing.
No.
430 for 3, golden chance for you to bat England out of the game. All you needed was another 150 to at max 200 odd runs. And it was gettable. It was pretty much gettable.
Yeah, actually the target was in your side.
Yeah.
600 was in your side. Easy peasy.
The job. That's the point. So
150. Supposing, okay, looking at the way how this final session spanned out, okay, tomorrow if it continues the first session, wouldn't we be guilty of jumping the gun? Supposing if India get a 100-run lead.
But that thing will always remain, na?
No, but then
analysis that you
430 for 3, 400 plus in this era. And you've gone past even 450 also. Haven't you kind of done the job?
No, but the point remains, Siddharth. I agree that because of what your top order did, and you've reached 470, which no matter what the condition is still a healthy enough total. You really can't fault the batting team. But again, because this test match, I mean, you look at it in two ways. One, what if England were to score 200 more runs than you in the first innings and put pressure on you? That's one way of looking at it. And forget even if, looking at it a defensive mindset of not losing, but why not looking at it in an aggressive fashion by saying that, listen, you get 600 irrespective, no? Get 600 and keep putting the pressure. So imagine if you got 600, and even though it's a good batting pitch, and even if England are where they are right now, 200 odd with 3 wickets down, they're always under pressure. There'll be no stage. There could be another batter who could have gotten 100 and yet they'd be under pressure because the amount of runs you would have got. So in that sense, I also think that it's now hidden because of what your top order did, and it's not really been highlighted. But I think it should be spoken of, and I agree that this is a conversation. While the majority of the conversation today in the dressing room would be dominated by your bowlers not doing the job, aside Jasprit Bumrah. And maybe the captain also needed to be tactically a bit better in getting his bowlers. We also pointed out how Shubman, by the way, could have used Bumrah slightly more in that second session. Just before the session was ending, he had rested Bumrah, just gave him 1 over. He was going in for a tea break anyway. So could have used him 2-3 overs. That's how you balance the work rate. Okay, tea is coming, so I can maybe give him 2-3 overs now. Then he has a 20-minute rest. I can do it. I mean, so apart from the fact that underutilization of Shardul, bringing him at the wrong time, certain times missing when Bumrah should have been there, apart from that, and your bowlers not stepping up, in all of this, I hope the Indian team does not forget addressing this batting collapse. Absolutely. This needs to be addressed.
And even if let's say England suffer a collapse tomorrow, they get bowled out for 280, 290 odd, and whatever be the result of the match, this thing needs to be addressed. Because as a test team, you can play, all that slam bang cricket, Bazball approach, trying to score, those fast runs. But there are some things with respect to test cricket that should always remain. You need to take those 20 wickets. You need to try and bat the opposition out of the game. And India had a golden chance and I think they missed it. So irrespective of whatever happens in this match, that point must stay.
And the other thing is, it's the shot selection which resulted in that. Okay, I would have taken it 41-7 down if Jasprit Bumrah was on fire and has bowled 4 Jaffers. What do you do? In that situation? But in this case, you're right. There were certain. So this is what happens. That it's like a Formula 1 race. You're leading, and you're so far ahead, but you relax for 10 seconds and you allow the competition to catch up, and they come close to you. Then who knows? By the end of the race, they might challenge you for the lead. And I think that's what you did. You were so comfortable that I've got 3 centurions and now we're so far ahead. Now we can't lose. We're in a situation that you afforded those shots. And now that collapse happens, who knows where the test match goes from here? You might rue the fact.
See, it happened in Edgbaston also. You had that collapse of 7 odd for some 50-60 runs, and then 378 it was chased down. So yes, that collapse proved to be catastrophic. Here, Shubman Gill's shot when he tried to slog sweep Bashir, that kind of gave away, the floodgates opened. Because Karun in the slot, but a good catch by Ollie Pope though. It was a superb catch.
But should have bided his time, Karun, a bit more.
But maybe
There was no need to.
430 odd. Why not go for quick runs?
But again, you're playing your first match in 7 years. You know the whole world is watching you.
I think had he stayed there for about 20-25 odd deliveries, I'm sure he would have gotten a 50.
And there was no rush. There's no rush. This is not the second innings that the team has told you we don't have enough time to bowl the opposition out, so we are only giving you one session to bat. That was also not the case. You are playing the first inning. It's just 1.5 day that has happened. Go on.
Yep.
1/4 day has happened. There are 3/4 of the test match left. More than that. Take your time, yeah.
2 bad shots when you look at it. The
Even Shardul's.
But did you expect Shardul to have...
No, but you have to expect him. No, that's why he's playing.
But he looked out of depth for all the 8 balls. I mean, he missed a full toss. He missed all this. I don't know what was Shardul doing.
So then that's...
He does have a role as a batter. So I'm not saying that, he has to score those big hundreds. But for Thakur at number 8, even a 30, 40 or a 50 odd, I think it's going to be enough for India. And that's the only thing that they would expect.
And that will only come if you have some application, no?
Yeah.
And that's what we were praising the rest of the Indian batters, because they showed application. Again, as I said, if he got a unplayable delivery, he gets out, fine. He's not a top order batter, I'll take it. Okay, it's too good for a number 8. He got out. But I think in this scenario, you should have. We'll take the question, but before that, let's not forget in a day where England have dominated, Oli Pope has got 100 and Ben Duckett got some runs. Jasprit Bumrah, of course, what do we say? The star for India and continues to be the star even now. Let's not forget the other Indian contributor on a day that England dominated was Rishabh Pant. So, a word on Pant before we dive into the questions.
Fantastic. Fantabulous. I mean, he was box office.
When I say a word, it doesn't necessarily have to be a word only.
I mean, we all waxed lyrical for 30 minutes on Rishabh Pant in that lunch show that we had, and audacious he was with the 6 hitting continues.
You spoke about bad shots in the first show also, na? Then you spoke about it now. So
yeah, I mean, see, you get that box office deal with him. It's like this Indian masala movie. You get good patches, but you also get horrible patches in a movie in that sense. That is Rishabh Pant for you, a typical Indian box office sensation.
I just feel that, with this Rishabh Pant, and obviously it's still very early days, I think there's going to be a little bit more sense of maturity now. You are a part of the leadership group now. You obviously hold an important position in the team, batting at number 5. Unarguably the best batter of the side. I think with all the shots,
he's changed it.
Yeah,
so this is the difference from the first show to now. He said arguably, now unarguably.
I think he is the best. So what at least I would want to see going forward is him surprising the opposition, that we talked about. He is not playing that predictable cricket. He's trying to be a little bit more unpredictable. Let's say just goes boundaryless in a period of 5 to 6 overs, then scores a couple of them. I think if that continues to remain, then I think things are going to be fine.
Fine print, slight disclaimer. Those shots, I mean, he tried that falling paddle.
But that thing will remain.
That will remain. And Sachin Tendulkar has also said that thing. Yes. That it is not by accident. It's a clear case of tactical execution that is there.
Yeah.
But a better attack on any other day can upset his rhythm.
No, a better attack did upset Sachin Tendulkar on a given day.
Yeah.
But Tendulkar showed that discipline also.
But I think, and that's why we credit less, you can look at any other thing, whether you can doubt his aggression, you can doubt his, on certain days, whether his shot selection was fine or not. All of that is fine. Or was he overly aggressive, all of that. But one thing which you cannot doubt about Rishabh Pant, and I'm saying it not from now, from the day he's come, is that technically he is adept in playing test match cricket.
Yeah,
I will go so far as to say that technically, and just purely test match technique, because what happens, because he's an aggressive batter, he plays those kind of shots that you're talking about, one hand 6 or paddle sweeps and whatever. You tend to think he's unorthodox. No, actually, defensively, to me, he looks like the best batter in the Indian team defensively. And I'm counting a Shubman Gill who's had some flaws in defense. I'm counting a Yashasvi Jaiswal who on occasion can play the horizontal bat shot more often than he needs to. There are other batters who have technical deficiency. KL Rahul has been questioned on certain occasions where he's been found wanting with the incoming delivery. But Rishabh Pant in that sense technically is the most sound test batter. But the reason we don't acknowledge that is because of his other adventurous strokes that he plays. But let's not take that away from the fact that you look at even in this innings, and I'm not talking, we spoke in detail in that show about what I like him, this particular inning, how he was choosing between attack and being careful, and how he was confusing the opposition. But more than that, you look at his defense, so assured of what to do, whether in the front foot or back foot. Copybook, dead, soft hand on occasions, dead under his nose, can stop the ball there. The way he was playing Bashir on a lot of occasions.
More than the defense, I want to add on to that also. He watches the ball so late. Stokes on middle stump, just watched it late, flicked it to square leg.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Technically also, he is very compact. He's the best technical batter also that there is in Test match cricket. But again, we don't, because he's not overall always like that, in the KL Rahul mold or whatever, so you don't put him there because he plays all these crazy strokes. But he's not Sehwag in that sense. That's my point. Because Sehwag had technical deficiencies. He overcame that with a great hand-eye coordination. But Rishabh Pant is not that. Technically, he's spot on, very compact. Yep. And I'm telling you, when you will have tough condition, it's not that he's a flat track bully or anything. When you'll have conditions where the ball is moving, he has the kind of technique to succeed on that day as well.
Yeah. And he has succeeded. He has succeeded. Yeah. Everywhere he's gone in the Sena country, New Zealand barring, everywhere else he's been fantastic.
I noticed it from the time he started playing, but I mentioned this before. First time I was 100% confident of how good he is technically was a white ball game. I told you 2019 semi-final against New Zealand.
Old Trafford.
Everyone was struggling. The ball was doing a lot. You look at the knock that he plays. He gets the 30 odd.
32 of 64.
But see, when he's on the crease, he's the least disturbed in that situation, where everyone else is hopping around because the ball is, and it's not easy to play ball when it's having that lateral movement. He's unperturbed. So it's not so much that swing or anything is troubling him. He was very assured in his front foot, back foot. So he has that technique in him to be very successful. That's not an issue with him. And again, with that, all he needed to do was tweak his, approach or his tactical acumen, which he showed in this particular inning. So I think he's nearing, I said it before, but nearing Test match batting perfection. There's still some time to go, but he's ticking all the boxes there. Before we take the questions, Jasprit Bumrah.
As I said, make a clone, make 11 clones of him.
I didn't say a word, then you would have said only one word.
No. Make 11 clones. I stick by what I started out. Make 11 clones.
I think we've already, sung praises about Bumrah, but the only thing that I'll say now is, and it's a new thing obviously, that come tomorrow morning, all Jasprit Bumrah would be hoping is for some more support from Siraj and Prasidh Krishna.
No, he would also be hoping for support from the fielders.
Because alone he cannot do anything. That's the point. See, he can take those 5 or 6 wickets, but the point is that England batters will still continue to score runs. You need support from other end, and it's not really about putting pressure on the batters so that you can strike from the other end. You need a couple of wickets from either Prasidh Krishna or Siraj, or maybe both. Yeah. And that's the only thing that he requires.
Yeah, as I said, I don't expect Prasidh Krishna or Siraj to run through batting lineups. Again, I've said it before that all of you watching, be mindful of the fact that these are very good batting conditions. All bowlers will struggle. But that's not to say that you go wicketless. Yeah. These are international level bowlers. They'll have to find a way to get wickets. You just can't say, oh, great pitch to bat on, so we couldn't do anything. As I said, even today, things could have been very different. 5 down, very well. That Harry Brook...
No ball.
But
see, it's a ploy. I think he's aiming for wickets. You remember that Anderson spell that he bowled? 10 balls in that 1 over. He overstepped. He would then bowl a hostile one. I don't know whether that tactic
but this can't be a ploy, that I'll get him out and it'll be a no ball.
But he may want more deliveries to bowl at him.
But why will you let go of that
I don't know
wicket?
why does he overstep that frequently? I don't
He's
know.
trying a bit harder. This can't be a ploy that I will purpose bowl a no ball and he can be out, no problem. I'll get another ball to bowl. But you've got him out.
Oh goodness.
You got him out. I mean, that would have really changed the complexion of the game.
Then it would have been India's day.
No.
Just 209 for 4.
But Siddharth, you have to start with the fact that you lost 7 wickets with 41 runs on this day only. Then you have got a centurion in a Pope and a guy who's got 60 odd, and you've dropped catches. The one Harry Brook wicket wouldn't have made it.
Because
India.
see, you have Stokes and Jamie Smith coming up tomorrow. If they had to start fresh, jittery start, who knows? The Indian bowling would have gotten their tail up, and then England could have very well collapsed on the first session.
I must say that I thought that Harry Brook could be the thorn in India's flesh. I thought he'll be the guy who will get a lot of, but he just didn't look the part. Which is good news for India. Maybe all the runs that he gets is against
He's got it on roads.
Pakistan and New Zealand and Zimbabwe.
That's it, yeah.
No, he's got Pakistan, New Zealand, Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
3 oppositions I can think of where he's got a lot of runs in Test match.
He's got bucket full of runs against Pakistan until they changed it to a spin friendly deck, which they should have done in 2022. Then this whole hype about Harry Brook would not have even come up also. But no, they wanted to play on roads, so you got it.
Okay, let's dive in.
Chili Paneer is like asking, why have
We have so many people who love
mutton biryani, chili paneer? What else?
Why have people forgotten
Akashdeep.
He is a part of the squad, and I think at some stage when Bumrah does not play, he could be his replacement.
It's a toss-up between him and Arshdeep. Arshdeep.
Akashdeep, didn't have an ideal BGT in the limited chances that he got. He was unlucky there.
In Brisbane, he was incredibly unlucky. He could have gotten 5-6 wickets on his own. And so many edges were being missed. I mean, one more coat of paint on the stump, he could have gotten a bold. But yeah, very, very unlucky in that sense. Okay, Deepthi is like saying 11 clone Bumrah. Team will never win a test match. His bowling average is 20, batting 7. You need runs, wickets to win matches. Praise, but not with blindfold.
I'm not able to understand.
I mean, I had said, clone.
Does even Deepthi mean here?
I had said, clone 11
No,
guys.
I understood your point, but I'm not able to understand this.
It is a dig at me. You can't clone 11 Bumrahs. You need batters also.
Bowling average of 20.
She says you need runs and wickets. Bumrah as a batter will never win you games. Bumrah as a bowler will only win you certain games. You need batters and bowlers. So yes, I should clone.
But bowling average of 20 is
Awesome. Excellent.
incredible.
Awesome.
Batting average is 7.
No, but we don't need a guy who's got a bowling average of 20 to give me any batting average.
Exactly.
It's like Dale Steyn, his favorite bowler.
Okay, for your
We're
thing.
not going to look at his batting average and then select him in the team or not.
5 Jasprit Bumrah clones and 6 Rishabh Pant clones. Okay? Khush? Happy?
No, you don't need clones. You need individuals, and you need all sorts of individuals to make this team up, and that's what makes cricket or any sport that way, a team sport, unique, because you have all sorts that make it up. So
Shubham Garg is saying 2 years back, Siraj was bowling with Shami, Bumrah sharing equal workload. Post Shami injury, he has become workhorse because of inconsistent third bowler. Yeah, that is.
And even Bumrah is also not a sure shot starter in most of the matches that he plays, so that's also the point.
And Shami, yes, his fitness issues have cropped up at the worst time, and I think I had mentioned
I tend to agree with Siddharth here that you have actually overbowled Mohammad Siraj, and that's where I think you have probably taken the zip out of his bowling.
Yes. Look at the PGT. How many overs? He bowled 160 overs in the PGT.
It actually reminds me of someone like a Mitchell Johnson. It happened, the same exact thing happened with him in 2010 and 11. Then he had an ankle surgery, returned for the Ashes, and that's where Micah Clark actually used him very well in just short spells.
So you're saying
3 or 4 spells.
he needs an injury.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that
comes back.
you actually took the zip out of his bowling. In between, I think they actually dropped him from the Ashes to one of the Test matches, 2010-11.
Yes. I mean, after Perth, he was dropped for Adelaide He didn't have a good time in Brisbane. Came back Perth, took 9 wickets there.
Perth, he won you the match.
He won you the game,
Yeah.
but then miserably failed in Melbourne and Sydney then. So, yeah. Sharan, the best chance for India to win or level the series is to play boom in first 2 matches, give 100% effort to win, or perish final. Otherwise, I see
Final is
no
too harsh.
chance.
See, I just feel
But
that
he is anyway playing the first 2 matches.
Yes. This and Lords.
what he said that he is sure shot of the first match.
No, I guess he's going to play 3. So it'll be 1,
2 and 4.
4.
Yeah.
You see the gap also, no? In the
1, 2 and 3. Because 3 and 4 is only a 4-day gap.
Yeah, so he'll play 1. That's why I'm saying, no, 1, 2 and 4. No, he's not playing 3.
No, 3 and 4, it's close to a 8 to 9 day gap.
So second and third, there's no gap.
Yeah, correct.
No. Third and fourth, there's no gap, I guess.
See,
First and second, there's a gap.
Yeah.
8-day gap, yeah.
So second and third, there is no gap.
yeah, second and third there is no gap. Then third and fourth is a gap. That's what I said.
So he'll play 1, 2.
And 4.
He cannot play 3, no? Then there's no gap.
Yeah, that's the point. That's
you
what
1,
play
2, 4,
3,
5.
4.
So
Ideal.
then he'll play 4 straight up.
1, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah, 1, 2, 4. Arey, he's playing 3, yaar.
3.
You just
Ideal-
added 1 more.
Ideal 4.
But he has said he's playing 3.
Awesome. Even if it's a 2-day test.
No, you see, right now he said 3 and the plan will be that he plays 1, 2 and 4. But who knows if the series is...
Is 1-1 decider 5th test oval? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Medan Shroff is saying, watching Bumrah in the stadium live is a pleasure.
Medansh, are you at the stadium?
Wow.
Well done. If you are.
Indeed.
And you would be enjoying.
Yep. What an atmosphere.
Yeah,
For
I'm
Test cricket,
sure
yeah.
it's a pleasure to be watching him. I mean, I've seen him live as well as on TV. It's a pleasure to be watching him anywhere you're seeing. And what you like about him is, hardly seems like he's a fast bowler. Barely just walks and then 4-5 steps, and then after that, poof,
Yes.
catapults the delivery.
Goli.
It's like those catapults that you have.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Goli, na? Lagan. Short run up, na? Short run up. Bumrah.
Sridhar Savaikar has a comment from 2018 until 21. I thought Bumrah showed how good he is, but would be troubled by injuries. But boy, since 2023, he unlocked a level we didn't think existed, and the gap between him and the rest has just grown. Good. I was actually watching, that India-South Africa series of 2018. I was
Oh.
watching the highlights of, all the matches, and Bumrah was top notch. His debut series. Even I think that that was still a series wherein you thought that he could become the spearhead of the attack in no time, and it turned out to be the case.
First wicket, I think, was De Villiers, right?
Yeah, correct.
Through the gate. And of course, 32 wickets, BGT.
Whenever I see it, and then you wonder why is it the batter finding it so tough. I think it's the angle with which he bowls. It's really tough.
That backspin, because of the wrist position that he's got, it gives him that late dip and that swing.
Yeah, and his ball, the movement is also very late.
Yes.
Whether it's moving out away from the left-hander or coming into the right-hander, it's so late that you're seeing the ball and you're preparing, and then right at the end it comes in so sharply.
That's
I mean, look at the Duckett appeal that he did. Actually, it's a Yorker, and it's because he's slanting it in, and he knows it's a Yorker. He's getting ready, and the last moment it just swerves, and so that's why it hits his leg.
Yeah.
Lucky for him, the impact is outside the leg stump, but it's just the late
The one that got out of
movement that he
Crawley.
gets.
Crawley.
Yeah, correct.
Perfect late
Squared him
movement.
up.
Yeah.
Angled in. Straightened last minute. He was absolutely. He was facing fine leg, but the ball had gone to
Correct.
slip.
It's very late movement that he gets. It's tough. And from that angle, and sometimes you play for the angle and then the movement.
The snapping of that wrist, that back snap that happens. So, Sridhar Savaikar again. Can Bumrah have a bowling peak till 2027 like Virat's 2015-19 peak across formats? Are those only two to have shown equal dominance across 3 formats? Where do you rank Bum now and where can he reach? I think he can very well have a peak.
I mean, see, he wants to extend his career, which is why they now reached the stage where he said no to captaincy.
Yeah.
And he has age on his side to be there.
He's about 30, 31 years old.
Yeah, so I mean,
and
if
I
you're
think
looking at 36, 37 years, at least 5 years is something that you can realistically look
Till
at.
2030.
If he can, balance his workload, and I think he realizes that. So, and his peak has lasted for quite a long time, and I don't see that dipping at all because of the skill level that he has. That peak is going to remain. And so far as where do you rank him, I think he's already the GOAT in terms of, for Indian fast bowling, he's already number one.
And where can he reach? I think in terms of wickets, I think he currently has 208 test wickets with the 3 that he has taken. I think getting to 300 or 350 would be a massive achievement if he can get to that.
Yeah. But why I'm saying he's a GOAT, because there are players who've gotten more test wickets than him, is his impact in that short span. Plus his impact in white ball cricket as well. He single-handedly won you tournaments here.
Yeah.
So
World T20.
Yeah.
I think if he keeps his fitness right and if he has the peak for 5 years, I think he can break Kapil Dev's tally of wickets.
I don't think so. You see, the point is
434. See, pacer wise, he'll be the best pacer then, because after Kapil, you got
Zahir, yeah.
311. He can very well cross that.
But
fitness permitting.
I don't see Bumrah playing all the home test matches also. You would want him to be, fit and ready for the away series. See, there are going to be a time when you would want to use him for the T20 World Cup, then there is any Asia Cup coming or any important tournament. That's where you would need Bumrah. So with him playing all 3 formats, I think getting to 434 or getting past that, I don't think that's a possibility. But getting to 350 is still a realistic task.
He should not be judged with the number of wickets. You have to judge him for his impact, strike rate. That will be phenomenal.
It's just an answer to the question that he asked, that where can he actually reach?
Yeah, so if his fitness holds, and if he doesn't play that much of white ball, then I think if he's dedicated to test cricket.
No, but I think he'll play white ball, because you will have, IPL he'll play. The year you have a T20 World Cup, he'll have to play. The year you have a ODI World Cup, he'll have to play. And for that, it's not just the World Cup, he'll play some tournaments leading up to it. So,
I think at least until 2027, Bumrah will be a part of India's white ball plans. Whether it's the T20 World Cup or the ODI World Cup or Asia Cup. That's where I think you would need Bumrah. But after that, he could be a test specialist.
Yeah.
No.
Praneet Datta is saying, don't know about Rohit, Virat and Ashwin. India is definitely missing Shami. Haven't found his replacement. Australia or England, Siraj Prasid can't put 6 balls in one spot.
I think India have not really had a great transition in their pace bowling attack. You talk about under Virat Kohli, you had many potent options. Shami was at his good fitness. Umesh Yadav was also bowling well. Umesh Yadav was actually your best bowler in the home conditions. In overseas, he did not really do well though. But I think this time around, India have failed to have a good transition. Kohli, I remember, speaking about the mini transition that they wanted to have in the bowling, and it hasn't really happened successfully.
But then that's what if you remember, we spoke about Shami has to go to England. I was saying that during IPL, and a lot of people will be like, no, he's done. Don't keep harping about Shami. Because the thing is, public memory is short. Everyone is watching him in the IPL and then passing a judgment that he is not good enough. And fine, there are doubts about his fitness, but he himself is keen to go. If you're making exception for someone like a Bumrah, who's also not 100% fit to play all 5, I'm sure you could have made that sort of exceptions for Shami, because I think with the skill set that Shami comes with a new ball, even on a flat batting condition, he'll pick you wickets. In red ball cricket, he'll pick you wickets. He'll surely pick you wickets. He has a skill, not only with the new ball because of his seam movement, but even with an old ball when he reverse swings it. Yeah. Second inning Shami, as you know.
Yes, reverse swing Shami.
So I'm saying, if you really want to include someone, because of his skill, you want to do something, you would have kept him in your plans. You would have got him to England. What's the harm? You don't have to have a fixed squad. Now you've got a Harshit Rana also come in as an extra bowler. Shami could have gone. If he's not playing all 5 test matches, play him to first test match on a flat track. Bumrah, Shami will get you the wickets. That's what you need. Then maybe rest Shami for the second test, and if his fitness doesn't allow, Bumrah is playing, bring him back. You should be able to utilize your resources.
You can also preserve Siraj.
Don't have to bowl him that much.
Shubham Garg on a broad Butler podcast. he explained very clearly why it's difficult to play Bumrah. His release point is way ahead of others, which makes late swing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying. I haven't heard that podcast, but just, looking at it, when you're trying to see the game through the batter's eye, and you're trying to figure out, at least, when I'm seeing the game, I always try and think that how is it that a batter should have done this, to try, and why is it that he got out, what should have he have done? And then when you look at Bumrah, and then you sometimes say, no, he couldn't have done anything. And then when you try and think, why is it that he couldn't have done anything? Because the swing's so late. So you're preparing and you have that much time, and you prepare like you prepare for any other bowler. When you start seeing the ball swinging, then okay, it's going to be swinging, then you start getting ready, and then there is an extra degree of swing that comes right at the end. You can't do anything.
There is one more thing which you missed, Pawan. Can we go up? There's one super chat.
That's why those edges, those leg before, those bolt comes about.
Yep. Go up somewhere.
Because
up,
he completely beats you in that line with his late movement.
Anchal is like saying, remember 2019-21 under VK in tests, Bum missed 5 first, cause Siraj got 3, Umesh 2, Ishant 2, Shardul was team. Here just one Boom. GOAT India test captain, Virat Kohli.
Yeah, but again, I agree that the Indian fast bowling revival happened under Virat Kohli, no doubt. He was the man responsible for it, backed them. But at that time, the bowlers were also doing well. No, the form of the bowler cannot be dictated by the captain. It has to be dictated by the bowler. I guess they've not just been on top of the game.
Yeah.
But yes, I can also agree that you can also point out how he was utilizing. Today, Shubman did not utilize them ideally. At least that's what I thought, and that's what we spoke about earlier. And on that count, you can say, Virat was probably much better in utilizing. I don't think Virat would have not used Shardul enough like Gill did. I think Virat also would have been sharp with Jasprit Bumrah's usage today.
Yes, absolutely. Dev Pratap Singh Chauhan is saying, Nikhil, one mistake India have done since Virat and Bharat Arun left leadership is that they didn't plan fast bowlers combo. Someday they play Mukesh, someday Akash, someday Rana. Nobody has clarity.
Good point. I think the two bowlers that they've still stuck to are Siraj and Bumrah in that sense. I think they still have clarity. Siraj, to be fair, has got the backing. Just that his form has dipped. But everyone else, you've been very inconsistent. And that shows from the Instagram story of Mukesh Kumar also, who was not kept. Akashdeep also showed promise, and then you have him and you might bring him in, but you don't know, when he does. So there has been a bit of musical chairs that has happened with the fast bowling, I guess. You're right. Which wasn't the case. India at that time, when there was Shami, Umesh, Ishant, there was Bhuvaneshwar, there was a lot of consistency. And you knew that these are going to be a set of bowlers that will play no matter what.
Ashish Chandeliya. Bumrah said in an interview with Michael Clark that he wants to play the Olympics. Of course. Win India the gold medal with Olympics. Yeah, it could happen. Priyanshu Singh.
Even Rishabh Pant will want to do. He can participate in gymnastics also.
Yeah.
Like what he did today.
Floor gymnastics. The floor exercises he can do it.
He can do javelin also. There's a lookalike, na?
Oh, yes.
He just looks like Rishabh Pant only.
Yep. He does.
So, he can, javelin.
But his category is not there in the Paralympics this time. His category is not there in 2028.
Oh.
So that's the major problem. Now where is he gonna...
So Rishabh will come in able-bodied athlete. Javelin, gymnastics, cricket.
Yeah. Our first...
He'll save money on one ticket. He'll go for the Olympics and participate in multiple disciplines.
You've not had a cricketer or anybody...
Who would have made a good javelin thrower? Jadeja, if he had picked up.
Oh, yeah.
His throws,
Andrew Simons also for that matter. Ajit
Agarkar also.
Yeah.
Uttappa?
Bullet throws, yes.
Uttappa.
But that, we can go on, but Jadeja, the throws from the boundary. Bullet.
Even Ricky Ponting. Those long boundaries at the MCG in those 90s, he would have rocket throws.
He was diving around at 36, 37.
Yeah. So... Shubham Garg tend to disagree. Team management plays huge role in making fast bowlers. Still remember pumping up given by Shastri to Shami before Joburg fourth innings.
No, but what is there to say that Shubham that Mone Mokkal and Gautam Gambhir are not giving that?
Yeah.
Just that you've heard it in post-match interviews that we did this, we did the stories have played out 500 times. I've heard it, which is good. I like that, and I agree with the fact that Ravi Shastri is quite a good man manager. He knows how to give these pep talks. He's pretty good at that. I completely agree with that. But that's not to say it's not happening now. Na? Whether they're happening and stories around when they will happen, you will win a test match here and maybe Perth, somebody gave a pep talk, will come out when they write a book. 5 years down the line, somebody will write the book and then they say, I pumped up Yashasvi Jaiswal going out to Perth to play that knock and I told him, and then these stories come out later, na?
Later,
So
yes.
be patient.
Yeah.
The management here also is pumping up the bowlers.
Yeah. Amlan Mukherjee. England plays out Bumrah in the first session today. We are in for a haul.
Yeah.
That no ball wicket is a schoolboy error. We are anyway not getting wickets from the other bowlers.
I agree.
Combined with the 2 catches that you dropped, which is why you need to take everything that comes your way.
As Gulati has said, that it's going to be a crucial first session tomorrow.
On day 3.
If you do not pick a wicket or 2, you are in for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you are seeing the home team scoring 550 or even more than that.
550, they are sitting on 200,
209 for 3.
209.
I'm saying at least 550
Ah,
or even more than
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
They would have gone past 2 by the end of the day and would have had some sort of lead. And it will only be day 3.
It's a 100-run lead.
So that will only be day 3. They will have another day to bat and are we getting ahead of ourselves? I don't think England, yes, they will get a lot of runs, but I also don't think that they'll get to 700. Jasprit Bumrah hai na.
Somehow I don't think they're taking the lead. I don't think they're taking.
No, that's a possibility. You're right. They could be 5 down today only if you had held on to your catches and that no ball. So you never know, but we'll find out. Abhishek Rawat is saying that I still feel Brook will do good tomorrow because today he came in a very awkward time when he has to play defensively, which is not his style. He'll do well when they attack. He looks terrible when they defend. Okay, let's see. Even I'd pick Brook to be a game changer. I thought that this will be his series. Completely did not look like the part today. But yeah, again, tomorrow is a new day. You start afresh. Never know. There are so many occasions where batters have looked tentative to begin with and then notched up double hundreds as well. So,
Yeah. Nick sir, after Shastri Arun duo.
Shubham
Garg again. Yeah. Shubham Garg is saying, Nick sir, after Shastri Arun duo, India had conceded matches in 4th innings. 2 record chases in SA, 1 380 in England. Pace group effectiveness has degraded.
Wasn't one the who was the coach at the record chase? Wasn't it Ravi Shastri at that time?
In
Dean Elgar's captaincy, I remember.
Johannesburg and
No,
St.
it was
Jude.
Rahul Dravid. It was his first assignment as a test coach.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That KL Rahul captain.
Yeah.
Second match.
And Cape Town, you conceded 270 in the 4th.
No, I remember the series. I just could not remember whether it was Shastri or Dravid at that time.
Final.
Taken charge a couple of months back. No?
The final series for Virat Kohli, the captain, in Test cricket.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the final test that India went back to play in England.
Yeah, 380. Oof.
No, that's true.
Yep.
But then the tenure also ended well for Rahul Dravid. They did well in test matches at home and won the World Cup as well, T20 World Cup.
T20 World Cup, yeah. Then they didn't do well in the WTC finals.
Said Nizamuddin is saying Prasidh Krishna lackluster. I agree. He did. Though you could see the effort that Siraj was putting on occasion was unlucky. Prasidh, you just didn't see that.
True.
That's why I'm saying a Shardul, 3 overs, yeah.
Lord Shardul.
Yeah.
Only 3 overs and 1 run for 8 balls so far. So, yep. Tomorrow then, or no, today itself, it's already 22nd of June. And day 3, still another 9 sessions to go for this test match. It's already going at a breakneck speed, by the way. It's already gone at breakneck pace. So the weather also is not looking that promising for tomorrow and Monday.
Really? What is the weather?
It's same 50% chances, 60% chances in Leeds.
So today also you said that, and what happened at the end?
One hour.
So 1 hour we'll take, yeah. You get an extended thing now.
English weather.
I know.
Rather than having weather where the full days get washed out, 1 hour is okay.
For Leeds, there is no weather forecast which says a whole day will be washed out. No, that's not happening in any of the days. It's just some intermittent showers in the second or the third session which might happen. So
Perfect.
Yep. So 209 for 3, still trailing by 262. Let's see whether India can take the lead tomorrow or will England take the lead. So from me, Gulati and Nikhil, it is bye-bye, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, eat your vegetables, don't trouble your mother. Thank you for all the comments and subscribe to Sports Today. Good night.
Love you.
Love you all. Bye.